Hello, we've got chemistry in this 2021 virtual open house. My name is Amber Beemer, and my students call me Coach. I've never coached anything, but I've always wanted to be a coach, and so the students have humored me over the past 20 years, referring to me in this very sweet way. Um, I have been teaching and continue to teach chemistry at South Campus. This is my 20th year at Lyons Township High School, and in that time, I've taught a variety of courses in science and mathematics that include not only chemistry, but biology and human anatomy and physiology, food science, and algebra during the academic year and even in summer school. As you can see by this slide, my personal academic background is pretty widespread and includes master's degrees in environmental biology, reading specialist, and leadership administration. I also have undergraduate degrees in biology and English and minors in chemistry and mathematics. A long time ago, when I began my career path, I was an Illinois licensed paramedic. All that to say, my mother is proud of me for finally figuring out what I wanted to be when I grow up. Besides my personal history, the history of chemistry is only slightly longer than the number of years that I've spent in school, which roughly translates into a pretty long time. By 1000 BC, civilizations had already carved out the basics of chemistry in discovering things like fire, extracting metal from ores, using chemicals in plants for medicine and perfume, fermenting beer and wine, and making soap from animal fat, and also making glass, just to name a few. It took a long time for alchemy, the proto-science of chemistry, to make its way from Egypt to Europe and to evolve into what we know as modern chemistry. What does chemistry look like at LT? Well, it will focus on the composition and structure of matter and the changes that matter undergoes and the energy associated with those changes. This course is going to cover a range of topics, and I will introduce them in a variety of ways. We will look at information through traditional lecture. We will use group inquiry, particularly the Zoom breakout rooms. We will have class discussions that will incorporate various types of technology, including Pear Deck and Edpuzzle, to name a few. We'll also have demonstrations by myself and other chemistry teachers and simulations such as the Colorado Educational FETs. And especially new this year is virtual laboratory experiments using the Pivot Interactive Laboratory Series. A strong background in mathematics is preferred, specifically in algebra. But if students need to dust off some of those skills, that's not to worry. I don't have a problem catching kids back up. Students should also want to practice on a continual basis and incorporate daily review into their learning strategies. These are key to successfully meet the expectation of the course. The comprehensive breakdown of the course objectives are embedded in the chemistry curriculum map and the course syllabus, which are listed in Canvas and attached at the end of this presentation. The course objectives will focus on the following essential questions. In quarter one, how do subatomic particles within an atom affect how atoms interact? Students will be developing a concept map to illustrate these interactions and the subatomic composition. They have already simulated natural isotopic variance to calculate average atomic mass, and soon enough, they will be using the Pivot Interactive Virtual Labs to gain an understanding of radioactive decay. In the second unit of this quarter, we will look at the locations and energies of electrons within an atom and identify the trends that can be found in the periodic table and to see what those trends mean for atoms. Students will not only learn about the organization of the periodic table, but they will experience the colors of various elements when their salts are heated. Students will begin to appreciate the chemistry behind fireworks displays. Quarter two will allow us to explore how atoms create molecules and what forces exist within or between those molecules. And how do ions make compounds? And how does a compound structure affect its function? If we are not back into the classroom and the lab setting just yet, students will still investigate the properties of covalent compounds and ionic compounds through a series of virtual laboratory experiments. We will bridge this information with second semester. In the darkness and coldness of night, we might start to contemplate how humans have been contributing to the global warming. We will continue our understanding on combustion and then work with the other 4 types of chemical reactions: synthesis, decomposition, single replacement, and double replacement. There will be many opportunities for laboratory experiments at this point in the semester too. As we finish up in the spring, we will probably answer the most essential of essential questions in quarter 4. How is the concept of a mole used to convert chemical measurements? We will use mathematical representations to support the claim that atoms, and therefore mass, are conserved during a chemical reaction. As time permits, we will move into yet an additional chapter where we can explore the concepts of heat, temperature, and pressure to see how they affect a substance's state of matter. Of course, all of this is going to culminate in a grade. In chemistry, grades are based solely on objective summatives. Most units have 3 to 4 objectives, and given the nature of our remote learning, we will assess those objectives independently of one another. Each summative is preceded by a Canvas quiz, laboratory experience, independent practice, group inquiry, and teacher-led instruction. All of these are formative assessments to support a student's learning. Most all of these will be recorded in Canvas, and formative feedback will be provided. This information will also guide my daily openers and objective reviews. The Canvas quizzes will serve as a final readiness check for students prior to taking their objective summatives. These grades will appear in Infinite Campus as a comparison, albeit they are formative assessments, but they can also further facilitate conversations among students, you as parents, and myself. Any student who earns less than a C on an objective summative will meet with me for one-on-one Zoom review, and additional practice will need to be completed before I will allow a retake opportunity. Students are only offered 1 retake per objective, and they must complete this within a 2-week period of the original summative assessment. All prior work must also be completed and submitted from earlier in that unit. Whether it be the original summative or the retake, these summative or retake assessments will be opened in Canvas for only 48 hours. Once a student starts that exam, they will have 60 minutes to complete it and submit it for my grading. Is this year going to be different? Absolutely. But I am working to provide your student with rigorous yet accessible curriculum and the technology that will engage them in our lessons. You will see the introduction of additional programs, whether they be the ones I've mentioned like Pear Deck and Edpuzzle and Pivot Interactive Labs, or others that come up along the way. These will be strategically sprinkled throughout our lessons. The use of breakout rooms and Zoom is already providing students the opportunity to work closely with one another like they would in traditional lab groups. And it allows me to pull students out of those groups to differentiate or remediate instruction when is needed, just like I would in a traditional classroom. My Canvas homepage includes a weekly calendar with links to all the assignments and due dates for students in need of a little extra organization. I am confident we will build strong relationships and cheer each other on while we are learning. My almost daily announcements are also a way for me to make connections with students, creating a classroom environment that promotes students advocating for their needs. In fact, I have been meeting with a few students already since the second week of chemistry. Just having 5 to 10 minute Zoom calls helps students to navigate their uncertainty when they are not ready to be vulnerable in a large group setting, especially on Zoom. Lastly, please don't wait until parent-teacher conferences to let me know if a concern is arising. I would rather that you contact me. I want to fix the leak than shore up the dam, if you know what I mean. I'm providing the additional resources that I think you will need to help you to communicate with me better here on this slide. The syllabus for both Accel and prep level courses and my contact information is listed. At any time, please do not hesitate to reach out. I typically answer within the same day, but occasionally it might take till the next day. And I'm always happy to pick up the phone and call if emailing back and forth becomes too much. I am super excited this year to be a part of something different, something new, something fresh. It's not to say that I don't want to see your kids' faces in the classroom. I'm excited for that opportunity too, but I'm already so impressed with them as they navigate this remote learning and the way that they are able to interact and cultivate relationships with their peers and with me. The content really is secondary. They will learn that too. But first, I'm really just trying to get them further out of their shell so that they can really shine. Thanks for taking a few moments to listen to me today. And again, if you have any questions, just seek me out. Thank you.